Hi guys, welcome back to another episode of YourViews Podcast, episode 8. Thank you guys so much for coming back to another episode. If you're new here, you know what to do. Hit that subscribe button. All 12,000 of you guys, really appreciate you. Smash a like and drop a comment. Let me know what you guys are thinking about the episodes. But most importantly, let me know what you guys think about this particular episode. As you guys can see, we have a packed house today. We're going to be introducing everyone. In honor of Black History Month, this episode is very, very important. If you guys are living underneath a rock, February is Black History Month. And in Grand Prairie, we are observing that as well. And the Andersons, we decided to do an episode dedicated to Black History Month, where we will be focusing on some black business owners in the city of Grand Prairie. Man, I love seeing these beautiful faces. But we're going to be talking to them about doing businesses in Grand Prairie. And we want to get to know who they are a little bit as well. You guys would have seen some of these faces on the channel before in one way, shape, or the other, but we're going to be doing a little bit of a deep dive. Actually, you guys probably seen everyone on the channel except Carice. Yeah?
Yeah.
Shanae been here, Cecilia's been here, Mariah's been here, Kena's been here, Carice has been here. But we're going to just use this opportunity to start introducing them. Kenan, introduce yourself again, bro. Who is Kenan and what type of business do you do?
Oh, my name is Kedan. I'm an entrepreneur, and I also have a job. We do business together, me and my wife. In Grand Prairie, we have, my wife will speak more about it, right? And primarily, my role here is to support my wife in this business.
Okay, you speak a lot about your wife, and we're just gonna go straight to her because she's sitting right beside you.
Yes. Hello, my name is Clarice Luke. And as Kedan said, we have a business here in Grand Prairie. I personally have been in business for 6 years. And very cool stuff.
What type of business?
So we have Restore Hair Loss and Scalp Clinic. It's a hair restoration clinic that focuses on hair loss treatments and scalp conditions, as it sounds, as well as wellness. I could speak more on it later if you want, but yeah.
Yeah, we're going to speak a little bit more about it. But before we move on to anybody else, Where are you from? Are you initially from Grand Prairie, or did you move here from somewhere?
I was born in East Africa, Rwanda, and I grew up in Canada.
Okay, so that's the cleanest country in Africa.
That's right. Shout out Rwanda.
Yeah, big up the Rwandans. And we're going to be moving on over to the Zimbabwean, for that I'm sure, and Cecilia.
Yeah, sure, yes. So I consider myself Canadian made in Zimbabwe. But have lived here in Canada for 22 years. So I run a business here in Grand Prairie called On Point Law. So you can tell that we do legal stuff. So focusing on family law, immigration, and employment law. So that's what I mainly do.
So that's the fourth. So you said your business is law, immigration, family. So anyone who's getting divorced can contact you.
Stay married, but yeah, stay married. But yes, if you're going through separation and divorce, which is unfortunate, you can come. Family law, we also do positive things, like if you are actually planning to get married and you want to do prenuptial agreements or living arrangements agreements, we can also help with that. Property purchase when you're buying a home, we can help with that. So we try to balance the sad and that's the fun part of it.
Gotcha. And how long have you been in Grand Prairie?
It's going to be 18 years this year.
18 years, so a Canadian born in Zimbabwe. Awesome. Guys, I'm not even going to talk much. I'm just going to have her jump right in. Mariah.
I'm Mariah.
So I'm going to have to ask a question because she's being difficult. So Mariah, who is Mariah? What type of business you do?
Yeah, my name is Mariah. I've lived in Grand Prairie for over 30 years, and I own M3M Marketing. We also have a studio in town. We're filming right at M3M Studios, and I'm happy to be here today.
You're happy to be here today. Okay, awesome. We're happy to have you here, Mariah, again. And of course, as Mariah said, we are filming out of MTRM Studios today. Guys, if you're in Grand Prairie and you are creative and you need a space to do not only your podcast, but your photography, videography, anything content creation, definitely check out MTRM Studios. And also, if you have a business and you need help marketing, M3M Marketing. And let me just tell you guys, we'll probably put a clip right here to show you guys how flexible Mariah is. We were literally running around like a chicken with his head cut off like 10 minutes ago, and now you can't even tell. We're all just relaxed, right? So yeah, very, very flexible. Now we're gonna go to the other lady on the couch.
Yes.
What's your name? Where are you from? And what type of business do you do?
I'm Shanae. I'm from Jamaica. I've lived in Grand Prairie for.
Where are you from?
We're
Calm
from
down.
Jamaica.
Bob?
Three of us are from Jamaica, actually. Yeah, I've lived in Grand Prairie for the past 5 years, as old as my son is, because I moved here the day before I gave birth to him. And so that makes it easy for me to remember how long I've lived here.
Yeah. Well, that's a very good way of keeping track.
Yes. I've been in Canada for, I think, about 11 or, oh wow, it's almost 12 years. Oh, time flies. For my business, our goal is to ensure that parents find it easier to access event spaces. So weddings, galas, workshops, conferences. We set up childcare spaces at events.
Awesome. And my name is Dem. Sorry, that was just to test if you guys are still here. Of course, you know who I am, guys. My name is Dems. I'm a Jamaican who migrated to Grand Prairie back in 2019. And I am part owner of the Anderson's Digital Marketing and Settlement Services. Nats is behind the camera today. So we want to talk about doing business in Grand Prairie predominantly. But before getting to it, let's talk about being black. It's Black History Month. It's very important to spread the message of what it means to be black, and also what does it mean to be black to you guys. So I'm gonna throw this out to anyone who wants to jump in. What does it mean to be black to you? No one? Okay, let's start with Cecilia.
Yeah, well, so for me, to be black in Grand Prairie and in Canada has been, when I grew up in Zimbabwe, I didn't worry about my color because it didn't matter. Everybody I looked at looked like me. So I was smacked in the face when I immigrated to a different country and I suddenly was a minority. Then being black meant something then, because then I was like, okay, where is my fellow black people? So for me, it's been a journey of defining who I am and then just accepting the gift that I've been born as a black person, as a woman, and so for me it's more just reaffirming my origins of where I come from.
That's awesome. And we have Clarice and we have Mariah. Clarice, you mentioned you grew up in Canada. Mariah, you were actually born here in Grand Prairie. So we have contrasting views here because, like, for some of us, we moved to Canada. So we would have been in our own country, which is predominantly black, so we wouldn't necessarily have to adjust. But for you ladies, this is pretty much all you know. What does it mean to be black to you, Mariah? And then I'll ask you the same question afterwards, Clarice.
I feel like it's similar to Cecilia, except that I was just born into that culture, right? Being in Grand Prairie over the last 30 years, we've definitely become a lot more diverse. But essentially, being born in the 90s, there were still not a lot of black people in Grand Prairie. So I think...
Was there any?
Well, my family was here since the 80s. So,
Wow.
and then, of course, I was born in the 90s. And, very few kids in the school were even colored, let alone black.
Yeah.
I think there was another kid other than me and my brother that was black, and sometimes he'd get mistaken as my brother and these things, right? Just because
You're black.
there's so few of us, right? So I think, that you're you're different colored, but really my community has embraced me for a very long time. Doesn't mean that I haven't experienced moments where I feel like isolated or like, you know, racist. Like racism, it does happen. There's always people everywhere that can be like that. But in general, I just feel like I'm really embraced in my community. So I'm really thankful for
That's
that.
awesome. And what about you, Clarice?
For me, it's slightly different from Mariah because even though I feel very much Canadian at this point, but I spent the first 15 years of my life in Rwanda. So I very much am still attached to that. Very similar experience in the sense that when I came here, you know, I was very fortunate enough to already speak French and English fluently, so I didn't feel like that part was difficult. So I jumped into grade 10 at the time, and the only hard time I had really was the sense of humor was like different, or just like the culture. But there wasn't. I can't say that I experienced any like, I did know that I was Black, but I didn't feel insecure about it. I didn't feel like it was highlighted. But I was very much aware of it now versus I was before. Not necessarily in a negative way, but more of just, okay, I'm in a different culture, I'm a minority, and you know, that's that.
Okay.
Yeah.
We're gonna put a question to Kenan, but if you guys are new here, you go and check out the previous episodes. Kenan was actually on one of the previous episodes where he pretty much admitted that he's only in Grand Prairie because he found love and he got married, so that's why he sticks around. So he actually said that. But apart from that, Kenan, right? Coming to Grand Prairie from Jamaica, what's the biggest thing that you'd say that you had to adjust to being a Black man?
Well, adjustments, just to adjust to the way of being here. Going camping, that kind of thing. Like in Jamaica, we're thinking like, hey, I wouldn't do this whole going camping business. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
And then just a whole different culture.
I still haven't gone camping. And my logic says when I was in Jamaica, I remember quite vividly watching movies and I see people going in bushes. I'm like, where are you going?
Yeah.
No, turn back.
Yeah.
So I'm not gonna be here now and be like, let's go in the bushes, guys. So,
Yeah.
but
and then, other than being just being a Black person, being a Jamaican, you know what I mean, having that kind of vibe, that kind of energy, I think it attracts people.
Yeah.
You know what I mean? Like wherever I work, I'm in my office, I'm playing some Bob Marley or whatever. I'm good vibes. People want to be around me. I'm always laughing. I always, have that kind of energy. So for me, it's been a very good experience.
No problem.
I haven't personally experienced any racism. Maybe it happened, but I didn't even notice.
Yeah.
I'm too busy having, focus on my stuff and enjoy myself. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, that's been my experience. Adjustments. Other than that, the weather, obviously. You know what I mean? The first time when I came here, and then I looked outside, it was sunny, and then I thought that, I could just go outside and see what's going on. And then I went out, extremely too cold. I was like, go back inside.
Awesome.
Yeah.
So pretty much, Grand Prairie as a community is pretty much inclusive.
Yes.
Is what I'm hearing. But Shani, for you do a childcare business where you have to interact with different families. Have you ever encountered anything that caused you to feel that your color of your skin actually played a role in probably the service that you provide?
There was not necessarily through delivering the service, but I've been to spaces such as trade shows and that sort of thing where I am the representative at the booth, and someone would come along and say, "Oh, who's the owner? Is this a franchise? Who really owns it?" Like people just assume that it's not me.
Yeah.
At the same time, I don't know if they assume it's not me because I'm Black. I don't know the exact reason.
Yeah.
I've been giving it some thought, and I've been thinking of asking, "Why do you think it's not
Yeah.
me?" But
That happened to me too a lot. When I had my business in the mall, for sure, people always think, or they'd look completely stunned when they found out that I owned it,
Yeah.
and I'd be like, Why?
Like
I was
why?
like, okay, maybe that's because I'm young, or
Yeah.
I never quite put a finger on it, but I wonder.
It happens to me as well.
Yeah, there you go.
Still happens to me. I'm
Yeah.
not sure if it is the black thing though. Like you just never know what's going on in somebody's mind, and
Yeah.
and usually it's pretty like
Yeah.
benefit of the
It's
doubt.
age
It's likely
too.
not.
Yeah.
It could be
Yeah, yeah,
age.
yeah.
It
Yeah.
could be
'Cause you're young,
anything,
yeah.
But
Yeah.
it's like no, I own this thing. Believe me, I really do.
Yeah. It's a compliment. It's a compliment.
So pretty much, apart from like persons assuming that you are not the business owner, which I understand, I 100% understand you, but you haven't had any real interaction with anyone like.
No, because it's quite obvious that I am one of the owners. Like if you go on our social media, and then you would see that it's us, right?
Yeah.
So you wouldn't be surprised to find out that it's us, because it's not like we're hiding that it's us. It's very clear that it's us. That it's us, and that's one thing I wanted to ensure, that it's clear that it's us, so
us.
no one has it.
So no one's
Twisted.
gonna like reach out to you and then act surprised when they see you actually show up.
No,
kind of
no,
thing.
no.
And if you're watching this and you're in Grand Prairie, let me just tell you guys, without any form of condescendence or anything, not all black persons are immigrants. Not all black persons came from Africa either. And I just want to put that out there because I was having a conversation with Mariah, and I'm like, Mariah, don't people mistake you for being an immigrant?
They sure do. Sometimes I even get on boards, or like not boards, but like committees, and they're thinking I'm an immigrant. I'm like, I need to walk this space, be for an immigrant. So sorry.
Check that box.
Yeah, I did check it
Yeah.
And there's even black people who assume that every black person is an immigrant as well. But how does that make you feel though?
Yeah.
Like, do you feel
I feel like humans are really simple.
Yeah.
They like to jump to conclusions based on a story that they've been told in the past. And I think that's where we need to kind of change that culture in communities and stuff. I don't take offense to it. I think it's pretty harmless. I don't think they're intending to be that way, but yeah.
Cecilia, I got a question for you. So you've been in Grand Prairie now 18 years. It's now, what's 18 years ago? I don't know. 2004, right? 2006.
6.
It's now 2006. You just landed in Grand Prairie. What was that like compared to what it is right now as a black lady?
Yeah, so that was actually, so when I came, I was from Banff. I worked at the Banff Springs, and when I told my colleagues, hey, I got a job in Grand Prairie, and I saw some of them, their faces were sad. And I'm like, you should be happy for me. They said, well, Grand Prairie is a redneck country. So I didn't know what that meant. I had never heard of the term. I thought, that's interesting. I've never seen people with rednecks. That would be very
Rednecks.
So I was actually checking people thinking,
Let me see your neck. Let me see your neck.
So when I came, there was not many black people in Mariah. You've been here for some time. And I actually remember seeing somebody in the superstore and running after them saying, hey, where are you from? And she said she was from Nigeria. And I said, I'm new here and I don't know anybody. And she was so nice to invite me for Thanksgiving, because she said, I don't want you to be alone on Thanksgiving.
Nice.
So that was, so that was, then we were not as many people as there is black people now, which is great to see. I would also say at that moment, because I worked at the store, JYSK Yisk, and I was at the till there, and I saw kids really, getting a little startled, and some of them actually said, how come here, what is it called? The palm is different from the outside of the skin. So
Wow.
which to me spoke to there hasn't been a lot of black people, and kids are so innocent, right?
Yeah.
To say whatever. But then I also had in that same situation somebody who came in, and then they went to my boss and said, I don't want to be served by a black person. The boss was very diplomatic. They took the client and said, listen, I cannot have that in my store. And she was very strong. And I tried to say, what happened? And she didn't want me to know. She protected me from that because the person actually used the N-word. And somebody said, I think they used the N-word. And I'm like, what is the N-word? So I was very innocent. And they said, you don't want to know, you don't want to know.
know.
So, yeah, so there is also some people who have their own biases, stereotypes, ignorance, I would call it. But I'm also seeing that there is change, right? People are beginning because they were not exposed traditionally to some of the differences.
Okay.
Yep.
So Grand Prairie's definitely grown a lot when it comes down to diversity and more inclusive of Black people.
Yes, it has.
Okay.
It is now. We're not perfect yet. It's. I think I appreciate the efforts that like the other day we were here at the studio. Mariah hosted the event, celebrating the Black people in different ways. We didn't have this before. So I see more activities like this that are actually making the community aware that there is no. I think traditionally when we celebrated diversity, we were talking Indigenous. With nothing wrong with that, we do honor our Indigenous fellows, but it was just one-sided. So now I see we do accept that there is BIPOC, Black, Indigenous, and people of color. So that's a growing awareness that I like. I'm appreciating.
Okay. And Clarice, so you've been in Grand Prairie now pretty much for half your life, or probably for the majority part of your life.
Yeah.
Did you come straight to Grand Prairie from Rwanda?
No. To Montreal.
Montreal.
Yeah, so we live.
Comment ça va?
Ça va bien.
Ça va bien, that's it. I don't know anything else. That's it.
I don't think I've met a Jamaican that speaks French, so you're doing really well.
Yeah, well, a little bit. But my question is, coming from a bigger city to a
Right.
smaller city,
Yeah.
inclusivity-wise, what would you say is the difference?
Yeah. Actually, it's really cool because the lack of diversity in Grand Prairie is what launched me on my entrepreneurial journey. So in Quebec and actually in Montreal specifically, my gosh, it's so diverse. It's like a city with little countries in it. So there's parts of Montreal where it's like Italy. You literally, it looks like it. Well, it's not necessarily, but food and culture, language, sometimes even like road signs and everything are in that language. And then you have like the Spanish side, and then you have like a Haitian community, an African community, European communities of different countries. It's really, really diverse and rich and amazing. In the summer, must go. It's just so beautiful to see that. It really represents like how you hear Canada is a melting pot. And then I moved here and realized like, okay, I can't just go around the corner and get whatever I want for my hair. And it was through that, and I was like, okay, well, someone's gonna do something about it. And I was like, I'm someone, and it's because of that I felt that I could take the initiative to bring that diversity and start making those, filling those gaps basically. And it's been fantastic.
And Kenan, you're married to Clarice, of course.
Yep.
Just a reminder, that's why he's in Grand Prairie. But for you, you're also working in the workplace. Let's talk a little bit about that.
Okay.
You mentioned that your coworkers like to be around you or anything, and all of those things, but have you ever experienced anything in the workplace to say, hey, it's because I'm Black, that's why that's happening?
No, not at all. My experience may be different from other people, to be honest, and maybe it's because who I am.
Yeah.
First of all, I'm not focusing on negative vibes, you know what I mean? And then it's just the energy that I give off.
Yeah.
So it's what's reciprocated towards me.
Okay, so I'll put this to you then. Somebody's watching this episode right now and they're thinking, man, I hear all about those small towns. You're so racist there. Although I'm not going to go there. What would you say to somebody like that?
I would say don't have these kind of preconceived notion. If you have that in your head and you're looking for it, you're gonna find it. Right?
100%.
For me, I've only found good vibes. I only found good people in my life. I try to focus on adding value, and then in everything that you do, if you're coming in to be in a specific space, try to be a key person of influence. So if you're a hairdresser, try to be the best hairdresser here, so that your race or whatever you look like doesn't play a role. It's like, I need to see that guy because he's the best person that cut in my hair. You know what I mean? So that would be my advice.
And I'll come to you, Shani, because you're a little bit too quiet to my right here. And I'll ask you, Shani, doing business in Grand Prairie, you've been doing it now for, I think, 2-3 years?
Yeah, this is year 2.
This is year 2? How has it been going?
So, and initially, we were doing 2 sets of services, event childcare as well as residential. And then we transitioned to completely doing events only. And there isn't that, I find that Grand Prairie, compared to other cities in Alberta, isn't as forward thinking for a new concept like this. So
true.
we have actually been focusing our energies in Edmonton and Calgary. When someone asks, where do you live? I say I live in Alberta. Lots of people who I know in Edmonton think I live in Edmonton, and the people who I know in Calgary think
Actually,
I
I
live
saw your business partner, Natalia,
Yeah.
at the studio. I think it was at the mixer. And I saw her, and my first question to her was, I thought you moved to Edmonton. That was the first thing I said, because every time I look on your Instagram, you guys are in Edmonton. So I'm like, yeah, I guess they moved to Edmonton. So you're in Grand Prairie still, but you live in Alberta.
Yes.
Yeah.
What do you think you'd like to see more of in the city? In specifically in regarding to your business?
Well, I don't want to be a bad person to say I don't care, but
Yeah, that's okay.
I honestly haven't given any thought to it because I'm
Yeah.
just so focused on the existing opportunities. I'm
Yeah.
not going to focus on what could be, what could have been. There's no point in me sitting and stewing and thinking, oh, it would be so nice if there were more events that would be appropriate for us or people more receptive to the idea. You know, there's no sense in focusing on that. I've now been completely focused on, okay, this is where things are happening. I was recently at this conference for the event industry, and it's those spaces that I needed to be in to spread the word and meet new people in the event industry and to learn as well. And interestingly, I've gotten significant interest from venue spaces and planners who are operating in BC.
Oh.
Yeah.
So
So you shouldn't be limited by where you live or
It's
where
amazing.
you
Yeah.
exist at the time. Think about the opportunities outside of where you are.
That's fantastic. If you guys don't know exactly what Shani means by event childcare, it simply means that if you're having an event and, for example, we know kids can be distracting. You probably hear them in the background here, right? Kids are super distracting. So if you're having an event and you want adults to be able to focus on whatever's going on, you can hire someone like Shanae, and they will have a space set up where you can leave your child or your children, and they'll take care of your children while you can go to the event. So that, for a lot of persons, including myself, is super convenient.
Yeah.
Because if I want to go somewhere, childcare is always on the back of my mind. Like, where am I going to fit them, right? So with that being said, having a business like this, I think it's when I just heard about it, I was like probably our first customer.
Yeah.
Like I was in that part where I was like needing our service, like when she used to do residential, like every day. Am I lying?
That's true. Yeah.
Okay. I just need validation.
You're a frequent user.
So I know the value of having like effective childcare. So if you're in Grand Prairie, I don't see why we shouldn't be. And when I say we, I mean event organizers. I don't see why Shani needs to be traveling to Edmonton and Calgary to get these business when there are so many events here, and people here have children. So I think we should use this service a lot more.
I
Absolutely.
also learned that some of the people who are planning the events, that the bigger events that take place in Grand Prairie are not from Grand Prairie as well.
Oh.
Yes.
So we need Mariah marketing to get that out of
Well, I mean, I'm sure there's opportunity. That's the great part about Grand Prairie. We talked about it in the podcast I was in with y'all before. Is there's tons of opportunity to have an event planner business here, right? And I think that's the great part is you fill a gap here in Grand Prairie, and you can do that.
You guys
I have something to say about that.
Go for it.
You know, as a person who also promoted a lot of events here, especially business events, I think from the perspective of the promoter, if they could look at it to see what's in it for them, if they could see, for instance, if I promoted this thing and I had a partner who was able to take care of the children, I'd increase my attendance by X%. You know what I
Exactly.
mean? That definitely would add value.
100% I agree. I 100% agree. I want to speak about doing business in Grand Prairie a little bit. And I'm going to put this to you, Mariah. So we talk a lot about MTRM marketing, MTRM Studios. Why did you decide to start this business?
The thing is, I didn't decide to start it. It kind of just fell in my lap. What happened was I was at college doing the business admin diploma at our local college, NWP now. And I was just volunteering. I was helping people with their marketing, helping them create these little graphics. And it was fun for me. I just loved helping people. And then all of a sudden I'd get referrals, and then people would be like, "What's your rate?" And I'm like, "Rate?" And so it just unfolded that way. It just snowballed. I'd spend like every Saturday at a local coffee house with my laptop doing the work. All of a sudden, one day wasn't enough, had to add two. Then it was my evenings after work. And then all of a sudden, I had a business on my hands. So I really did not decide. I felt like it chose me, and I embraced it.
Did you study this in school?
I did. I went to GPRC, now Northwestern Polytechnic, and I took a 2-year business admin diploma with a focus in marketing.
I did the same course and I didn't learn any of this. So a lot of what, like, I didn't learn how to set up lights and those stuff.
Well,
It's her passion.
Beyond my diploma, I went into a number of video production
Gotcha.
classes, went on sets for different film opportunities, indie films in town and in Edmonton and stuff like that. And so I've learned a lot of hands-on skills throughout my years.
And where
8
do you
years.
see your business going?
Well, I mean, this was a pretty big step. The studio was a pretty big step,
It is.
pretty fast, I would say. And I don't know, I see the business growing, like having another space for the marketing department in the future, or having a bigger studio, or I'm just kind of, those are big, big dreams. Right now, I'm just trying to survive with what I got.
If you're ever looking for a marketer, I think I did the same program as you, right? So I might not be able to do the gadgets, but I can do a little bit, okay? Alrighty, Cecilia, On Point Law. That's the name of your business. We're gonna drop links for all the businesses underneath this video as well. So Cecilia, as we mentioned before, she's an immigration lawyer. Are you taking new clients?
Yes, we're taking clients, but we're a little bit overwhelmed with inquiries on immigration. I think it's a result of both there's labor shortage here, but also people want to come to Canada for better opportunities. So if we, sometimes it feels like working 24/7 because everybody from all over the world would be looking for opportunities. So the reason why I decided to start my own law firm, because here in Grand Prairie there are some traditional law firms, I just wanted to do things different. I felt that the legal field is very static, like antiquated, besides the boring titles we use in court, right? But I wanted to practice law from a heart-centered space of let's meet people where they are as humans. Let's not start from the dollars perspective, because that's what a lot of people say. Oh, lawyers are very expensive.
Yeah.
So yes, we do need the money to run the business, but how can we serve, like Kidon said? How can we add value to people while making the money? The money comes when we care about the people. So that's why I decided to do to do it different. And like Mariah said, there's so many opportunities here in Grand Prairie. Clarice mentioned that when there is no opportunity, you create one. So I wanted to create, and my vision for the business that is to create this powerful law firm of badass, kick-ass lawyers that are just going to be, doing the work with passion to serve. So that's my
And where do you see On Point Law going?
So I see us actually going to, of course, bigger and better in terms of growth. Right now, I see that we're being called to offer practicum to students. We're having people who want to come and article with us. So first of all, growing as a firm, but also growing in terms of just being the one place that people would like to come and experience legal help differently.
Okay, let's ask you a personal question. Ready?
Yes.
It's not too personal. I'm just gonna ask you,
Yeah.
how do you deal with the lack of Zimbabwean food in Grand Prairie?
Okay, so when I came 18 years ago, we didn't have. I always had to go to Calgary and Edmonton to buy. But now there is a few stores
Yeah,
that sell
tropical
African
markets.
food, and some of the food that we eat as Black people is the same. So fufu, you find fufu in different cultures, and then so we have some similar things that I can buy from the stores here. Of course, one of the things that we want people to understand and know in this month of Black History is that Black people is not a homogeneous. We're not a homogeneous. We are proudly people of African descent, but we have had different experience. There are people who were born and raised in Africa, people who were forced to go to the Americas through the slave trade, people who are from the Caribbean. We have 3 of you from Jamaica, so when I hear Jamaica, I always think of, yeah, man, you know.
Yeah, man.
Bob Marley, let's roll it. So but I think the beauty of it all, and then we have people like Mariah was born here, the beauty of it all is that we have that one origin of the Black strong gene, and that's what brings us together. So we do eat different food stuffs, but
Yeah.
they're similar ones, yeah.
Yeah, we don't have the same likes and dislikes. We all like different things and we all enjoy different things.
Yes.
And by the way, there's a Bob
Diverse.
Marley movie that's showing in the Cineplex, so you guys should go and check that out as well.
Oh, yeah?
Yeah, it's a movie. Have you seen it, Kenan?
Yeah, we saw it on Tuesday.
How was it? What's your feedback?
It's really good.
Oh,
It's
yeah?
really good.
Yeah.
Oh,
Really
I'd love
good?
to see
Highly
Yeah.
recommend.
Yeah, see,
Kedon came out very patriotic. All of a sudden, he spoke patois
Fully, yeah. Represent.
all the way out to the car. I'm like, dude,
Yeah.
dude,
I
it's
get
a movie.
it. He got really patriotic right after, and I was like,
Yeah, we're not giving you the
okay.
spoiler yet.
Yeah.
I haven't watched it yet.
Yeah.
I actually didn't have childcare.
Yeah.
So what I ended up doing is I have the Cineplex app on my TV. So I paid for it on my TV only to find out that even on Cineplex on the TV, you have to wait until it's done showing in the Cineplex before you can see it.
Yeah.
So I paid for it and I still haven't
Can't
seen
see
it.
it.
Yeah. Because there's no more residential childcare.
Hint, hint, hint.
Sabotage.
But Clarice,
Yeah.
you've had multiple businesses now.
Yeah.
What keeps you going, and how do you find? Talk a little bit about your business that you're doing currently as well.
Yeah, so as I mentioned earlier, we have a clinic, and it's a clinic specializing in hair restoration and scalp concerns. So by hair loss, I mean anything from genetics. My husband here is a graduate patient. For men, it's mostly genetics. For women, it's a whole lot of stuff. So it's hormonal, medical, all kinds of stuff that could be going on.
Yeah.
So we work by identifying exactly why the person is losing the hair first and foremost, and then we treat from the root cause of the hair loss. And so another thing we do is scalp concerns. So anything from like psoriasis, eczema, dermatitis of any kind, anything that troubles the scalp, we do those treatments as well. We have a pretty good success rate, so it's been fantastic. And actually, at our clinic, we have one of the only 13 trichologists in Canada, which...
Shout out to Rhea.
Shout out to Saraya Not Hall. She's there's only 13 certified specialists in hair loss
In all of Canada.
in all of Canada, and the only one in Alberta is at our clinic. So
Okay.
Grand
it's a big
Prairie.
accomplishment.
That is.
Yeah.
Two
Yeah.
questions for you.
Yeah.
So for the ladies who like to wear a lot of wigs.
Yeah.
And then they put in that glue.
Yeah.
And then when they tear out that glue, tear out your hair. Can they come and see you too?
So that actually causes traction alopecia, and it's actually quite popular within the Black community, from braiding, from the glue from lace and all that stuff. It's basically causing stress on the hair follicle, and then eventually it becomes scar when you don't address it soon enough. And once it's scarred up, there's nothing you can do. There's no more hair follicle open to regrow hair. It's kind of like, So best practice is just, if you're wearing wigs and you're gluing them down, just make sure you're using a remover so it's gentle on your hairline, and also maybe glue it past your hairline and not on the hairline. And so just there's some things that we could definitely do. And if you're getting braids, make sure it's not like pulling the life out of your head, right? So that they're gentle, especially on those tender baby hairs. Yeah, but at the clinic, we tend to deal mostly with more serious conditions. Like there's people who have autoimmune conditions that they, within a span of 2 weeks, they lose every single hair on their body. And it can be very, very traumatic. So we have like, certain treatments that we can do to basically stop that attack on the hair follicle and stuff like that. And it's been a very meaningful journey. Yeah. But with that actually came a new service that we just found. And it's really cool, kind of like what Cecilia was talking about, finding how you can add value in your business and approach everything you do with a heart-centered approach. And so it's called a hair tissue mineral analysis. And
I'm sorry, what is it called?
Hair tissue mineral analysis. So
HTMA.
HTMA in short. And it's basically a test that we harvest a sample of your hair, we send it to a lab that we're working with, and they basically bring back an entire standing of your health. So we're able to identify what deficiencies and excesses and like what's going
Toxic
on,
chemicals
toxics
and
and stuff like that are causing you to be unwell. And this could mean anything that you know or are not aware of, and that actually is a root cause of any kind of sickness that we can have in our bodies. When your minerals are balanced, there's not going to be any wellness problems. So then above masking the problem, say for example we treat the hair loss, but we haven't really treated the real problem that caused that hair loss. So why did you get the hair loss to begin with? So this actually gives us a real picture of what's going on, and then we're able to use supplements and necessary lifestyle adjustments, allergens, and really what needs to be done to correct. So that's been amazing, because that's actually allowed us to now help more people that aren't necessarily dealing with hair loss, but have lots of chronic illnesses that are going on. It's been amazing.
And you say you have a high success rate, but in terms of support, would you say the city of Grand Prairie is pretty embracive of your business?
Yeah, it's been actually really good for us. I think mostly it's been about promoting and making sure that people are aware that we're here, which has been great. But as soon as people know that they can get help, it's pretty traumatic, especially for us women. If you're losing your hair, you don't know what to do. In this new venture with the HTMA as well, like if you're in constant pain and you don't know what's going on, doctors aren't helping, they're just giving you painkillers. Really finding out what's wrong, what minerals are in your body are imbalanced, or what toxins are causing you to feel unwell, and then we can actually treat that and holistically as well. It's been fantastic for us,
And where do you see your business going?
So continuing to grow, like even with this new HTMA, babe, go on, take this one.
Yeah, what I wanted to say, we brought something special here for that. So we're gonna
go for it.
Okay, specifically for this show, we're offering 20 free consultations.
Hold on.
20 free consultations for HTMA. So if you want to come in, if you have an ongoing health problem, you want to figure it out.
You guys thought of a code that they have to say, hey, I saw this code on the podcast.
The Andersons.
The Andersons is the code?
Yes.
Guys, subscribe.
The Andersons. All right, so you'll get an opportunity to speak with our specialist, where you can look and figure out all your symptoms. You can say your symptoms to the specialist, and then they can look on a chart, figure out what kind of imbalances normally cause these kind of symptoms. And then you could figure out if the test is for you, which I'm pretty sure it's for you, but once you go there, you'll figure it out.
Guys, you can tell that Kedan is extremely passionate about the type of business. And you can only tell when you believe. You can tell you're passionate when you believe what you're talking about.
Yeah.
You had that hair loss problem.
Definitely. And what makes me what I like to call a key person of influence in this specific situation, I have a background in biochemistry, right? Okay. I used to be a professor in biochemistry. And then when I came here, I started to do marketing. Okay. And then I was planning to launch a marketing business to do direct response marketing and so on. And then when I checked it out, my target audience was actually my wife. So
works out for me.
Yeah. So I was thinking about in every way. I was thinking about transformational leaders who want to make a difference, and I'm like, I actually live with one. I married one, And then that has kept me very busy. When we started the clinic, even before we had the location, we had the clinic booked out for like 2 weeks before the location was set, kind of a thing.
That was awesome.
So, just try to keep everything in-house. And obviously, we're very passionate about all the services we offer. And if it's a service that's not going to help people, we just boot it out. We've been approached by many businesses to offer services, and if they don't align, yeah.
That's right. And you know what, guys? We're going to be wrapping up pretty soon. But first and foremost, I want to thank all of you guys for coming on this week's episode. I really, really appreciate each and every one of you guys for being here. We are located in the beautiful city of Grande Prairie, Alberta, which is 4.5, 5 hours, 4 hours
4 hours.
away from Edmonton,
4
depending
hours.
on how you drive. Is it 4.5 for you too? 4 hours? Because it's 5 hours for me. I'm not even going to pretend. It takes me 5 hours to get to Edmonton.
Don't ask me.
4 hours.
3 hours.
Well, there was this one time where it took me 3 hours.
That's my kind of girl. Yeah, me too.
But not anymore. I have rehabilitated.
That's good.
Oh, well, anyways, guys.
We still need you. So yeah.
Yeah. 3 hours, 3.5, 4, 4.5, or 5 hours. Yeah, I'm not gonna lie, it took me like longer than 5.5 hours one time.
Yeah.
Why?
It was like,
Cruising.
it was like the middle of the night.
It was driving Jamaican style when Kadon's coming.
It was the
driving
middle of the night.
Cruise.
Yeah.
cruising, and I'm like, are we gonna get there?
It was the middle of the night, and that
Okay,
was dark.
safety first.
Safety
Yeah.
first. Yes.
And yeah, I'm like, yeah, let's cruise. Let's
Yeah.
cruise. But yeah, I want all of you guys just to, if you guys have anything you'd like to say, like about your business or about Grand Prairie as a city, why should somebody move to Grand Prairie? Or you know what keeps you in Grand Prairie? What would that be? Start with you, Shani.
I'd say what I like about here is I've met some really good people here. People are amazing. I have really, really, really good supportive friends. I work as a nurse. My coworkers have been quite fantastic to work with. And it's so easy to get from one end of the city to the next. I'm a very time-centered person. So
Does it take you 2 minutes?
Driving 3 hours from Edmonton.
So I really value the fact that I can get from one end to the next in 15, 20 minutes. Yeah.
Why should somebody move to Grand Prairie? In your words.
I'd say it's a very open space in terms of it's quite easy for you to meet new people. For 2 reasons. One, as I said, it's easy to get around, and 2, people are very open to having conversations with you.
Awesome.
Yeah.
And I'll pass the button over to you, Mariah. What keeps you in Grand Prairie?
My community. Honestly, it's the people I surround myself with. It's the support that I receive from this community. And there's just tons of opportunity to help businesses, help people grow themselves here as well. And that fills the cup for sure.
Yeah.
Okay. And Cecilia, do you see yourself moving anywhere else?
I've tried a few times and I'm still here. I think one of the things I really like about Grand Prairie is that there are not many cities where you can just a few minutes you are on a farm where you can see animals and you can see. It's a really a city, but you can have all these other things going on. And like others have said, it's the people as well. Unlike the reputation Grand Prairie has, my experience has been different. I think it's a great family-centered community. And lots of things to do for my child. So I really appreciate that. Like Shanae, I'd like to be in 10 minutes from here to there. And so it's a great city to be. So those of you who are thinking of coming to Grand Prairie from outside of the country or from other provinces, because we have a lot of that going on, it's a community that will welcome you, that will show you where to go from one place to the other. And we are waiting for you.
And I'll pass it on to you, Clarice. Apart from how to get back my hairline, which we're going to talk about, we're going to speak about that. But why should somebody move to Grand Prairie?
Yeah, so I think for me, it would be very much if you're a dreamer, if you're someone that wants to create something, that's determined and ready to, for example, in the lane of business, this is absolutely a great place to do that. And the reason is because in bigger cities, like I'm from Montreal, in Montreal, There's lots of competition. It's going to be very rare for you to do something that someone isn't already doing. So this is actually a good place to set your roots so that once everybody wants to move to Grand Prairie, they got to catch you first because you've already been, right? You've already taken off, but you have to be ready to work and you have to be ready to come in a different sense. Like I'll say this as immigrants, quote unquote, even when you're not an immigrant, but I know that especially with immigrants, we tend to do the open and they'll come type of approach when it comes to business. No, you'll be done real quick. So making sure that you understand what it takes to work hard, how to promote, how to operate, how to sell, convert and all that stuff. And that will basically be the best thing that you can do in that sense.
Awesome. And Kenan, what would you like to see differently in the city of Grand Prairie that can make persons like us, Black people, feel more at home in Grand Prairie? I left the hardest question for you, by the way. I know you can take it.
Okay, so I was already planning with the easy one. Let me start with that one. So the easy one would have been, what has kept me here? Opportunity. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
In terms of, I'm not going to beat around the bush. The typical job that you could find in another city, if you find it here, you're going to get more pay per hour.
Yes.
Trust me. You know what I mean? And then there's always opportunity to advance yourself.
Yeah.
You know, you could always get trainings and then you could always climb up the ladder. I've seen it happen so many times. You know what I mean? I've been here for 4 years and other than the business, we just closed on another property. So,
Exactly.
so things, definitely. So what else I'd like to see here? Maybe more events, and that kind of city vibe where, you could go by. I think we're trying to do it here on the street where you could just go by a outside bar there and you have a nice
like
ambiance and patio.
Yeah.
That kind of thing. You know what I mean? And then like a stable Caribbean restaurant for me. You know what I mean? We my good friend Sheldon had one before, and then I've seen.
Come back, Sheldon.
We're working on having something.
By the way, come back, Sheldon.
And then
That's right.
So Georgia,
Georgia.
I'd like for Georgia to have like a physical space, somewhere we could come.
Yes.
We could have some, Bob Marley music played or whatever. Have a vibe.
you
We're
can
eating
watch
food. You know what I mean? Yeah. I'm on Bob Marley right now.
Yeah.
So like a space.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, shout out
More
to Georgia,
cultures, more cultures
And then-
represented physically as far as business. Yeah.
Well, as pertaining to Mariah and Joanna was on one of the episodes, they said Grand Prairie has a lot of things to do in terms of culture and food. I strongly disagreed, by the way. So I represented.
They probably they need to be promoted more so we could know about it. I don't know.
Yeah.
Well, definitely shout out to Taste of the Tropics, Georgia.
Yes.
Yeah.
150%.
So good.
The food is 100.
Oh yeah, for sure.
I
It's
haven't
legit.
tried it yet.
Yeah.
You should.
I got a pamphlet up front for you.
Okay, good.
Really, really good.
I discovered it here at an event.
Yeah.
And she had a video of me like it's like an ad. I was like, whoa.
Yeah, he was going hard.
Yeah.
Yeah, but all in all, guys, thank you so much for tuning in for this episode. I know we have probably gone over a little bit, but we really appreciate each and every one of you guys who took the time to sit and always watch our videos, especially our subscribers, all the persons who will be subscribing. Thank you guys so much. All the links to all these businesses will be in the video description, so go and check them out on Instagram, Facebook, all of those lovely platforms. I'm sure all of them are on it 100%. Kieran a Pinch is the name of Shanice's business, MTRM Studios, MTRM Marketing, On Point Law,
Restore hair loss and scalp clinic.
Awesome.
Yeah.
Are you guys on Instagram, Facebook, all of those?
We're everywhere. We're on YouTube, Instagram, Facebook, TikTok. Mariah hooked us up.
Yeah.
100%. So we'll end it right there, guys, and we'll say episode 8 is now done, and we are going to be looking forward to episode 9. Thank you guys so much again, and see you guys in the next video. Peace.
Peace.
Thank you.